This is Team 6, and we're discussing the attrition data that was provided for Fab Core. As you can see from our Excel spreadsheet, that we added a few columns at the end, including defining the age groups in a 1 to 4 numbering system so that we could incorporate those into the home life calculations to get an average rating, weighted average rating for those numbers, as well as figuring out the hours worked with the monthly income divided by the daily rate, and just some other weighted averages that included job satisfaction and average environment, so that we could incorporate those into our data visualizations.
And we used a macro, as you can see, to define the age groups, basing them off of the ages of less than 30 is 1, less than 40 and greater than 30 is 2, less than 40 and greater than 30 is 3, and older than 50 years old is group 4. We took this information and using Tableau, we were able to create some charts that we could use to describe the data and see where the attrition was coming from. And use in the top chart from department/job role, you'll see that it's broken up with the attrition of employees in their specific roles, and in blue, you'll have the employees that did not leave, and in orange, you'll see the employees that did leave. You can see that in lower positions, you can see higher attrition rates, like a sales representative or a laboratory technician, a research scientist. There's a higher attrition rate between the employees. And this can also be correlated into the income of the employees, where you have lower average monthly incomes, you can typically see higher attrition rates within them. And there are very few employees that are marking at that very high, close to $20,000 a month income that are leaving the company. Whereas here, the average employee that stays has an average monthly income of about $6,833, making a very strong livable wage. And we wanted to compare it with the marriage status. We think that employees that are not married can have less responsibilities and are able to move around, and that directly was correlated into the singles having a much higher percentage of leaving the company rather than married employees, with 84 and 589, and very few divorced employees leaving. We really consider that the single employees they probably don't have kids, they don't have a spouse that they need to worry about financially, and they can make a bigger change within their livelihood. In our second dashboard, you'll see the job, home, and satisfaction chart. And this is showing the average age group and the attrition and whether they left the company or not. So on the right side, you'll see that they did leave the company. On the left side, you'll see that they didn't. And you'll typically see that there is younger employees that are leaving the company with higher attrition rates, whereas they're not leaving over here. You can also see with the number of hours worked per month that employees that are not working as many hours a month are typically leaving the company more, with 72.52 hours, 93.17, 77.74. Now, these are the averages of the employees within them. You can also see, whereas company employees that did not leave are typically working longer weeks, longer months, much more hours. You can also see from this chart that the home life and the job satisfaction are typically lower among the employees that are leaving, which leads us to believe that that plays a huge role in whether an employee will decide to leave, or if they're fired, if they're going to work as hard, and if they're going to earn their keep truly. So employees that are working more hours, that are higher satisfied are typically going to be staying within the company. And in the dashboard or in the diagram that we have below, this is a chart that shows all of the employees' ages and groups, and from each age, which employees are leaving and which employees are staying. Again, as before, the employees that stayed are in blue, and the employees that left are in orange. And you're typically seeing that younger employees, as in you saw in the chart above, younger employees are typically leaving the company earlier, and that could be based off of more opportunities that they have. Just got into the workforce and they're realizing that this might not be the career path for them. But from higher employees, you're not going to see as much movement from them.